chestnuts roasting.
Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to share with you 4 Dollar Tree DIYs that you can do using the little red truck treat bags. You do get 5 or 6 in a package, I cannot remember, but I wanted to show you some ways you can incorporate that little red truck in your home on a budget. So for this first DIY, I used this really cute wooden or faux wooden frame from the Dollar Tree. I've actually had it. I used it for some fall decor. But I'm basically going to take that out, and then I'm going to cut up my bag and I'm going to place it inside the frame. Now this is really easy. I don't know if this is really a DIY, but this is a really good way to incorporate that red truck. I do want it to have a white back, so now I'm just reassembling the frame, putting everything back in there. And this is what it looks like. I think that little red truck looks so cute in that frame. I think it fits it perfect. Kind of gives it that rustic look, which I love. And now I'm going to take this ribbon that I've had laying around. I did not find this ribbon in the Christmas section, but I think it's adorable. And I'm basically just going to make a bow. And then I'm also going to tie it with some twine that I had laying around. And then once I have that all tied up, I am going to dovetail or fishtail the ends of the ribbon, whatever you would like to call it. I'm going to do that to the ribbon just to kind of give it that extra look. And then I'm going to hot glue it on to my frame, onto the top of my frame. Now I was debating on if I wanted to leave the twine hanging. I decided in the end to cut that twine off. But here I am. I'm taking one of these picks that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I am just cutting some of the spruces off of it, and then I'm just deciding which ones I want to use on my frame. And I do end up dressing up my frame a little bit. I basically take these and decide I'm going to hot glue the bow up top. And then I'm going to take these things that I cut off my pick. Now, I think that this looks cute just the way it is. And part of me wishes that I would have just left it that way because I actually liked it like that. But you can take these and hot glue them to the sides of your frame if you want. These are just some ideas. You don't necessarily have to do it like that. I'm just hoping to inspire someone. This is how I decided to do it. In the end, I didn't love it, so I did end up taking it apart. I wish I would have just left it with the bow. And now this is where I'm taking some of those berries and I'm putting it on to those, I guess, spruces. I don't know exactly what you call them. But this is how it turned out. I thought it was pretty cute. So for this next DIY, I'm going to take this vase and also this candle holder plate, one of the treat bags with the red truck on it, of course, a package of fake snow, and then also these fairy lights that you can all pick up from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing I want to do is cut my bag, and I'm going to cut out the red truck with the Merry Christmas saying on top. And then I'm basically going to stick it in the vase or candle holder, whatever you want to call that. And then I'm going to place it on top of the plate. Now I want to take some of this fake fur and I want to cut a square out of it. And once I have it cut out, I kind of pull it apart a little bit because I don't like it to look like a square piece of fabric. I want it to look like snow, so I kind of rip it up and tear it apart a little bit. And now I'm just getting an idea of where I want things to go inside. So I put the snow in there, and then I take this 84-cent tree that I found at Walmart. You can buy a package of trees at the Dollar Tree. There's 2 in a package, which is a better deal because you get 2 for $1. But these trees were a little bit smaller and they fit this vase a little bit more. And then I'm going to take these fairy lights, and now this is where it kind of got a little tricky for me because I realized that battery box and these fairy lights are not going to fit in the bottom. So here I am. I'm kind of just figuring out how I want them to lay, how I want them to sit. And this actually took a lot of finagling, you guys. It did end up coming out perfect. I absolutely love how it turned out. So basically what I'm doing is I'm putting some snow. Well, first I put fairy lights, and then I put snow, and then I put more fairy lights, and then some snow to cover more of the fairy lights. And then basically, to make them fit better, I wrapped them around my finger and I just kind of shoved them down there, and then I put more snow on top. Because I don't want the lights to stick out, I want them to be hidden by the snow, because it kind of gives it that more magical effect. It doesn't look, I just think it lights up the snow and makes it look really pretty. So with that part, I'm going to wrap it around the Christmas tree, because I do want that to look like there are lights on the Christmas tree, if that makes sense. The only thing that I do not like about this project is that the fairy lights do hang out the side of the vase. I'm going to call it a vase. They hang out the side, which is fine. I ended up taping it. I did end up taking that tape off. I just needed it to stay in place for a while. And now I'm going to take this skull stand that I got at Halloween that I never used, and I'm basically going to use it as a lid. And I'm going to cut the stem of it off because I don't like it. And then for my leftover pick, I'm going to take one of the smaller ornaments and basically hot glue it to the top. And then place it on there. And now the thing about this lid is it doesn't actually fit the vase. It is the exact same size. So if you want to hot glue the lid on top of it, you absolutely could. I don't plan on touching mine very much, so I was just fine with it sitting the way it does. And so this is what it looks like. I think it looks so cute. There are a ton of different ways that you could dress this up. I just decided to take this wire garland and I wrapped it around my vase because I wanted to cover that plate up a little bit. And I basically make like a little wreath out of it, and then I tie them together. See how easy that lid falls off? Place that back on top. And I actually love how this turned out. So cute. And then when you turn those lights on, it's just adorable. Now in the back here, I wanted to hide that battery pack or battery box, so I just used the garland to kind of cover it up so you couldn't see it. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to take some of the berries that I had left over, and I'm just going to place them inside of that garland wreath, just to add some touches of red, because I really wanted it to go with the red big ornament on top that I don't necessarily love. I should have spray painted it, but I was kind of winging it, and there are some changes that I would make, but overall I feel like it turned out so beautiful. This is the finished project. It looks adorable, you guys. Wait until those lights turn on. I love it. So inexpensive to make, you guys, and I just think it really does light up my kitchen. It looks so beautiful. I think in the end I ended up paying about $4 for this project because I had all of the other stuff laying around. And I think it's totally worth it. Now this is what it looks like on top of a candlestick. If you guys wanted to put it on top of a candlestick, I would actually paint the candlestick black and the lid or the plate black to match the lid. So for this next DIY, I had this leftover picture that was like in my storage. I hadn't used it in a really long time. It hadn't been hanging up in my house. But I thought it would be perfect if I could just like spruce it up a little bit and make it a little bit more Christmassy. And I really like what it says. It has a Bible verse on there. I am the way, the truth, and the light. And because Jesus is the reason for the season, I decided to use this piece. You could really do this with anything. You could use a frame that has a picture or a frame that doesn't have a picture and just kind of do this without that image in the back, if that makes sense. So basically I just took my treat mat bags and I cut them. I cut the little red truck. This one I did not want to have the Merry Christmas because I wanted the Merry Christmas to go on top. And so here I am just Mod Podging that little red truck onto my picture. And now I am not the best Mod Podger, but you know what? It's okay. It still looks great. I love how this turned out. I know it's kind of different and some people might not necessarily love it, but I love it because it's meaningful to me and it's something that I used in my home that has memories, if that makes sense. So, and I want to be able to put it out for Christmas. So here I am just Mod Podging those. I'm going to put it aside and then I'm going to let it dry for a minute. And then also make sure you clean up your edges because I am messy. I just wanted to make sure I cleaned up my edges. So I got a wet rag and kind of just wiped off some of that extra Mod Podge that I got everywhere. And now here's that little red truck ornament that I got from the Dollar Tree. Basically, I'm going to take it apart. So I really want the tree off of that ornament. And I'm going to tear that thing off. And then I also want the berries on that tree to come off as well. I just want the tree. And I'm going to set that aside and I will show you in a minute what I decide to do with that. And then that piece of ribbon that hangs the ornament, I'm also going to use, and then I do end up taking that Merry Christmas sign off the truck as well. So I'm going to hot glue, eventually I'm going to hot glue this tree into the back of my red truck. And that's what it is going to look like. For now, I'm going to take that red ribbon and I'm going to hang it diagonally. I'm going to hot glue both ends and I'm going to, from one side of the frame to the other, I'm just going to hang it diagonally. And so here is what that looks like. I did end up changing it. And so now I'm just going to take this red and black buffalo plaid wrapping paper that I found at the Dollar Tree. And I pretty much just want to frame out the inside of my picture. So I am just going to cut to fit. There are lines and squares on the back of the wrapping paper to help you for whatever project you're doing if you want to frame out any picture like I'm doing here. Basically, I just cut one square thick and then I basically cut that in half. I really, really love the red and black buffalo check, buffalo plaid. I love it this season and I really love incorporating some of that on some of my decor pieces. So see how I am cutting this in half. Now it's not going to be perfect and the sides are not going to be all straight and even, but that's okay because this to me is homemade and I just love it. So I framed out the inside. Now I'm going to take the Merry Christmas part of that red truck ornament and I'm going to hot glue it to that ribbon that I hung on my frame. So here's what that looks like. Absolutely adorable. Again, you guys, I love it. And there is that red truck with that tree that I hot glued into the back of the truck. Now I did end up changing this up a little bit. So instead of having that Merry Christmas hanging in the middle, I actually took it and hung it at the top to cover that other Merry Christmas part that I Mod Podged on there, which I ended up liking better. But you could add as much or take away as little as you want. That's just an idea to give you guys some inspiration in hopes that you might create something of your own that is meaningful to you. So for this next DIY, I took this Work Your Crown sign that I found at the Dollar Tree. I picked up some more of those 84-cent trees at Walmart. I had this contact paper that looks like wood from the Dollar Tree and also that fake wood, or not fake wood, sorry, fake snow that I had left over, and then of course the little red truck treat bags. So the idea behind this DIY is I want this to be able to stand. That is why I chose this pineapple work your crown sign, because it has a little base and it's able to stand on its own. So right here I am taking my contact paper and I am measuring to see how much I need to cut. And basically I want the sides to hang over the edges of the sign so it wraps around the edges. But right here I'm just going to cut out a square. And again, you can follow the lines on the back of the contact paper. Now that I have my square cut out, I am going to peel off one corner, and I'm going to place that corner on the corner of the sign and make sure it's hanging over. And then I just slowly want to peel off the back, and as you do it, the contact paper will perfectly lay on there. I tried to fix it because mine was a little bit crooked, and then I realized it didn't matter because I'm covering up the bottom anyways. And this is how it turned out. Make sure you wrap the edges over, well, the edge of the contact paper over the sign just to give it a more finished edge. And now I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to Mod Podge my treat bag onto my wooden sign. And this is what it looks like once it's all Mod Podged. You want to let that dry. And then as soon as it dries, so I was kind of messing around with this. I knew what I wanted in the end and what I wanted it to look like. But it took me a while to figure out how to achieve it. Again, I decided to take the red and black buffalo plaid wrapping paper and frame out my picture or my sign. So I do it the same way, except this time I'm going to make each side 1 square thick, and then I measure it to fit each side. And this is what it looks like with it on there. It turns out so cute. Now, I didn't Mod Podge this onto the sides. I basically just took some purple Elmer's glue stick and just glued it onto the sides, and it worked out just fine. But I didn't want it to, I didn't want it to look like it was trying to fit the frame. So, of course, at the top, I wanted it to hang over so it wrapped around the back. And I swear I was recording at this next part, but I actually wasn't. So jump ahead. This is what it looks like with both of the edges with that buffalo check pattern. And now I'm going to take my fairy string lights and I'm going to figure out where I want them placed pretty much. I knew that I wanted some in the front of the sign because I wanted them to be along the bottom, and then I wanted to hot glue some snow along the top of them. And then I knew that I wanted my picture to light up. So basically I just took a knife and I made X's in the headlights of the red truck, and then also figured out where I wanted the trees to light up because I wanted it to look like the trees had lights on them as well. And I'm sure that there's a better tool that you could use to do this, but I just always end up using whatever's on hand at the moment, whatever's easiest. I'm really not a prepared crafter. So basically I just put X's and then I take my scissors and I make the hole a little bit bigger. And this actually worked out really well. The scissors gave it a nice enough hole to where it was really big enough for those lights to fit. But like I said, there's probably a better tool that you could use to do that. So right here, you do want to make sure that your holes are all the way through. So I just wanted to show you guys that my holes were all the way through. You could see my finger in the back of them. And that was a pretty good size hole. I wanted the headlights to be a little bit bigger of a hole than the lights that I wanted to shine through on my tree. I don't know if that makes any sense, you guys, and I am really not good at explaining things, but hopefully you guys can just see what I'm doing here, and it makes sense, I hope. So now I'm going to take my fairy lights and I'm going to run them along the front on the bottom. And it took me a while to figure out how I wanted them to sit, but I knew the battery box was going to sit perfectly on the back of the frame where there's a little ledge. And I start at the first light of the fairy light. And then I run 3 lights across the bottom. And then I wrap the fairy lights around, and all of the other lights are going to be used on the back for the headlights and the tree lights. Now I want to cut a piece of my snow. And I want to hide the string light. And I do that by just covering it with the strip of snow that I just cut out and hot gluing the snow over the string light. Now I did end up cutting more strips of snow off because I wanted it to look full, and I also wanted it to hide those string lights. So again, I am just messing around with it and trying to make it look as good as possible. Making sure that all of it looks covered. And then once it is covered, we're going to move on to the back of the sign. That is how it looks. As you guys can see it with the lights turning on, it looks cute. And now moving on to the back of the sign, we are going to basically take some tape and we're going to line up. I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing right here. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't even on camera. So I apologize about that. Eventually I move it to the middle. But basically right here what I'm doing is I'm lining up the lights with the holes in the wood. So for every hole that you made, you want to make sure there is a light right there, and then you just tape it in place. And you want to make sure you have a light for every hole. I did have enough, and in fact, I had one extra light that had nowhere to go. So I was almost perfect. I didn't have too many lights, and I didn't run too many lights in the front of the sign. So we were good. This is how it turned out. Look how stinking cute that is. Absolutely adorable. I'm so happy with this project. I really did love how it turned out. It actually blew me away. I didn't think it was going to turn out this good. It is the perfect little decor piece to sit on my entryway table. I love how it looks all lit up and right next to my Merry Christmas sign. I just think it's adorable. And I'm really glad that it turned out this good. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to accomplish the look I was going for, but this actually was better than I expected. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This is what it looks like, all lit up and done. Oh, I just love it. But yeah. Comment below and let me know what your favorite project from this video was, and if you guys planning on recreating any of these. That is all I have for you guys today. Sorry the video was a little bit long, but I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, you guys, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more DIY videos, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me and my girls. I hope that you guys have a good day. And if no one has told you they love you today, I do. Bye, guys.